Hello, YouTube land! Check your clocks because it's amateur rubber time. Welcome back to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. In the last episode, we were in court. Well, we were in court, and now we investigated first, guys. And then we're moving on to court. And in the last part of this series, we were cross-examining Mike Meekins, who is the suspect of the murderer of Detective Goodman in the evidence room, even though he was murdered in the prosecutor's office a lot. The dude died in two places. We're still trying to figure out where he died, if that's the case, or unless there's two Detective Goodmans. I don't know. And we also found, what's this face's name? I hope I have it in here. Come on. God, we have so much evidence. Yeah, we found Jake Marshall's fingerprints in the evidence room. So I think we're trying to pin the murder on him or something like that. So we'll just see what happens next. And that's pretty much it, guys. So leave a like for Phoenix Wright. Leave a like for the judge here, because God, he's the best judge. And he really doesn't have a name. He's just judge. But yes, we'll just jump right in, because we did leave this off on the last episode. And now let's see what Phoenix has to say. I don't know where this cross-examination will lead, but everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start. Okay, so let's find the contradiction then. Cross-examination, mystery man. So let's see what he said. His face can't be clearly seen in the video. Oh yeah, we did watch a video last episode. But there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. Why? Hold it. But you don't know that for sure, do you? You never actually saw Detective Goodman's face.
Well, I suppose you might say that. That is, if you must label people as having seen or not seen it.
Since his face can't be identified in the video, only you can verify it.
Why is everyone looking at me? If I had to label your stares as disturbing or...
Meekins! Having been shown a questionable video at best, we are not in best of moods. Now please be more certain when you testify.
Yes, sir.
You claim the man who brandished a knife on you was Detective Goodman. Tell us why you are positive it was him. Okay. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. Hold it. How do you know that information?
I've heard rumors, sir, from people in the know, sir.
People in the know?
The workers in the department cafeteria, sir. They keep me informed. They also listen to my romantic troubles, sir.
For the record, the open locker did indeed belong to Detective Goodman. I verified this information through a more reliable source.
So the victim opened the locker with his own fingerprint.
What? How? So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. I guess press it, I suppose. However, the most important detail is not shown in this video. The man's face.
Sir, if I may say something, sir.
Please do. After all, you are the one being examined.
I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that he opened the fingerprint lock, and it was his hand that tried to thrust the knife into my body, sir. My unsettled state can testify not to this, sir.
Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie.
That is, unless the defense can find a problem with it.
Mr. Wright, let's check the court record again.
Is there a problem with the security video? I'm gonna say there is, I suppose. Regarding the video contained on this tape, there is one thing in particular that seems rather strange.
Strange?
This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman.
What? This video contains such a contradiction?
Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal.
Yes, Mr. Edgeworth?
I propose we have the defense point out to us his alleged contradiction in the video. He would want me to point it out.
Very well, proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now put the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us this contradiction you speak of.
I have to point out a problem in the video. This is the first time I've ever had to do that. You can do it, Mr. Wright. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing.
Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video.
How did this guy ever become a police officer? Okay.
Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where in this contradiction that indicates the man may not have been Detective Goodman?
Oh, God. It's your boy, Blue bitch. Look at this dude. Okay, contradiction. Fast forward. La 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 la. There he is. Okay, I think I might see it, but I gotta watch a little bit ahead. And here comes Mike Meekins with the creep status. Okay. Ooh. Hold on. I gotta check the record. Only the assigned detective's prints can unlock it. Indicator lamp. Yeah, that's what's weird. Okay, how do you rewind? Why? There we go. Going backwards. It's your boy, Blue Badger. Look at me. I'm smiling. You better smile. Smile with me. Look at this. How is this disturbing? This is not disturbing. He's so awesome looking. I like the design. Okay, so anyway, back to the game. God, is this not a faster way to rewind this? I gotta wait for it. So he walks up to do that, but then before he even shows up, pause. Okay, before he even shows up, this is already lit, so it's open already. So present, take that. The thing that's strange about this video is got to be this. Officer Meekins.
Sir, do you mean me, sir?
As I understand it, the locker apparatus works like this. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint. If it's a match, it opens. The light turns on and the lock is released.
According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir.
If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. Hey, it's your boy, still the Blue Badger. I can't get that phrase out of my head for some reason when I see him. It'll probably stick to you guys if I keep saying it. Yes, embow it into your minds. Is it still showing the video? Is it trying to explain something here? Oh yeah. Yeah, because the thing is still lit. When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker, let's rewind to a little earlier. Alright, going back. Blue Badger. This sounds like an ice cream song. Like you hear this on the ice cream truck. Here, notice the light?
What's this? It's already lit?
Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle.
Order! What's the meaning of this?
It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime. But the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered, and the locker is automatically locked.
Oh, I know. It must have been broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this.
That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction.
Oh well, it just goes to show all novices should keep their mouths shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation?
Me, Your Honor?
Yes. Why wasn't the locker locked?
Me, Your Honor? Yes, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator? Huh? Oh, maybe something like jam the system's sensor? Something? Jam the sensor? Say, there's something else that seems out of place in this video. Yeah, I thought so too. There's gotta be another clue somewhere in this footage.
Very well, let's inspect the video once more. The locker wasn't locked. Mr. Wright, please point out the cause for this.
Okay, so now we're pointing out a cause. It's your boy, Blue Badger. Find the cause. Go do it. Right, so the cause. Oh snap, it was right there. Okay, I just saw that right there. Beep, 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 beep. Sorry. Right here, baby. Present. Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. Not with the Blue Badger. He's just dancing. Okay. Can't we fast forward this? We've probably seen this like so many times. Boop! There goes something that fell.
What's this? Something white fell out of the locker.
But sir, it's been my experience that things fall out of doors when open. I often fall out and roll away. This is when I open my car door, sir.
We can't be sure that item was completely inside the locker to begin with.
What do you mean?
The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door?
Inserted?
It's your boy, Blue Badger. Still at it. I'm dancing. Send help. I'm locked by my will. I'm dancing for my will. Help. What if he was actually like trying to send a signal? Oh, sorry, getting distracted. This white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor.
Oh, I understand now, sir. It's like my tie. 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir. Instead of the door closing, my tie chokes me.
But the object would have been extremely thin to fit the door.
Not only that, it would also have to block electrical currents. It would need to be an insulator.
Yes, an insulator. But at the crime scene,
There just might have been something that fits the description.
But sir, by insulator, you don't mean...
I think I finally got this figured out.
very well. Will the defense please present the relevant evidence? What was this insulator that was stuck between the locker door?
It was... this baby. The glove. I found this near the locker. A thin rubber glove.
But we can't be sure that it was the victim's locker.
It has a tag that says SL9 incident. The video seems to depict the victim opening the door. But that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is this not so, Officer Meekins?
Sir, it would be so, sir.
Oh, got him.
Order! So, are we to believe then that the victim, whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room, was not Detective Goodman?
Do not be misled, Your Honor.
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
The defense has merely demonstrated the possibility and nothing more. The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this. What? Officer Meekins, please testify about this. He's thinking real hard.
Sir? Me, sir? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir.
Is this a joke?
Very well, begin your testimony.
Okay, what just happened? He had like a hard time thinking about it. Mystery Man Part 2.
There's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card.
An ID card record. I see.
I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. Yeah, we know all of them, but who's 7777?
I thought it was the judge at one point.
It's Edgeworth. The ID used at 514 is that of the victim.
Just before the crime, Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why were there so few people using this room?
This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. Special cases? Extremely violent cases involving police staff. Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end. Me too, although it doesn't make much of a difference. There were only a few cases up for transferal there, and most were cleaned up by noon.
Right, I see. Now let's move on to the cross-examination.
Okay. Mystery Man Part 2. He had his ID card. There's one other thing. Yeah. To enter the one use your ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective used his card. But we found his card at the parking lot. How did he use it? Yeah. That doesn't make sense. Wait one moment, Officer Meekins.
I'm not good at waiting, sir.
I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene.
That makes sense.
When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card.
Lost item report? It's only half completed.
But it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess, you believe this something to be his ID card, right? I can't say for sure, but there is a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card.
Order! So now, what does this all mean?
It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card. Okay.
Order! Does the prosecution have a response?
I have only one thing to say to the defense. Bravo, Mr. Wright. Bravo? Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yes. What's he up to? Yeah, what's going on here? That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder. That is... Well, I guess that's right. Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago, you seemed so content on putting your finger around. This isn't going to end well. He found a loophole. Well, it seems you finally realized exactly what you've gone such lengths to prove.
Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth.
The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means the murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime.
So
the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot, at the prosecutor's office, the murderer being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness observed the moment the defendant used the murder weapon. Oh, so we prove that if that's the case, then it's fake. So Lana's still the murderer. No, Edgeworth. I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning. Dang.
the activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered? And where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman.
Just so, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright, you have to do something or else I'm Lana.
What do I do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this mess? Object. Just keep objecting. One moment, Your Honor. What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you just proven. Of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. No, it didn't, because it kind of like panned over there, and then after your boy Blue Badger was dancing, he just kind of slumped. So, what's going on? Nothing. Just more dancing from the Blue Badger. That's it. However, it cannot be said that this is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. What? Oh, he's talking about the fingerprint. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination to the truth of the matter.
Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes, Your Honor.
If this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand.
Mr. Wright, do you mean?
Your Honor, the defense would like to request a specific witness.
Oh, whom do you have in mind?
Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. The prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply.
Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testify. What is his or her name?
Jake Marshall. Officer Jake Marshall. Why him? I can't let Edgeworth know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say. The prosecution agrees with the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding this room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare. Cool.
Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is subpoenaed. Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time?
We will, Your Honor.
Court is now in recess.
Alright, recess time. Go get the dodgeballs and start playing, guys. Oh wait, not that kind of recess. Sorry. Gym teacher got angry. February 24th, 11:32 a.m. Let's see. There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright? Huh? What do you mean? You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you figured everything out. I haven't figured anything out.
Lana, you're the one who knows everything.
Emma.
You always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you.
I don't recall ever asking for his protection.
How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me?
Hope I'm not interrupting anything, Bills. Out of nowhere.
Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later.
Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it?
You got a lot of knife, pal. Making a detective run around all day while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here. I ain't seen happier people at funerals.
Sorry, Detective.
You better be, Bill. Hey! I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky.
That's okay. So, have you brought what I asked?
Oh, you mean this, right?
God, I love Gumshoe so much. My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request. My name?
Never in a million years would I thought it was you who asked me. Could I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy.
The SL9 incident?
But Lana, that's...
I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them.
I can't believe you, the Chief Prosecutor, were a witness in that case.
This guy was a witness? Huh. Filed for the Joe Dark killing, solved 2 years ago. Huh.
Take it from me, you don't want anything to do with Serial Midas. Oh what? Now that I brought you stuff, you just gonna ignore me?
Emma? But why? Why is your name in here? It is? I gotta check the files out. Boom. Okay, closed. Perpetrator Joe Dark, crime serial murder. Sentence death. Yikes. Victims: Edward Jones, Jason Knight, Edith Kirby. Kirby! I love Kirby. I should play a Kirby game one day. Anyway, Rachel Moss, Jed Bates, Neil Marshall. Oh no! Is that related to Jake somehow? Trial data: Head Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth. Witnesses: Lana and Emma. Huh, I guess so. Investigation Task Force: Damon Gant, Lana Skye. Head Investigator Bruce Goodman. Investigators Jake Marshall and Angel Starr. Oh dang, everyone was involved in this. That's some stuff. Why is your name in here?
What? My name's in there? I don't know. Unless... No, it couldn't be. Lana, this SL9 incident, is that...
That's the classification number the police filed in under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark killings.
The Joe Dark? No, Lana. That's over with. No.
What is happening? Emma, wait! She ran away.
You know what? I just remembered. I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here.
Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't be just a coincidence. Yeah, that cannot be a coincidence. Knowing you, you just might be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. I better take a good look at this file. I just looked at it. I think I memorized most stuff. To be continued. Yeah, man. Everyone that we just met in this case is connected 2 years ago. That is so crazy. That has to be like pure, that ain't no coincidence. Or luck, at that matter. That is crazy. Just imagine, man. Oof. Alright, I'm back at it again.
The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye.
Emma didn't come back. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. Alright, so we're talking to Jake Marshall. Yeah, cowboy man. Drinking his drinks. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Me, partner. Oh, I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it.
Oh, I know, you're a patrolman.
As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling it out. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor. Howling wind? I've never heard Edward described it that way before. Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day the crime took place. Is this correct? According to the papers, partner.
What do you mean?
A desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up.
Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony the day of the crime. In plain old English.
Like, stop talking that cowboy talk. Just tell me what happened the day of the crime. My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. They say I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at a street-side saloon at the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you got out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. Okay?
I can't say I particularly care for your attitude.
I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't hear me complaining. Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems? I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those. Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence lockers? Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those? He's not being very helpful. He's not that good with machines or with following orders. Got him. Everyone's got their weaknesses now, don't they, Mr. Prosecutor?
This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours.
Okay. How are we supposed to cross-examine or anything of that? Contradictions. A wary eye on that bone orchard. How exactly did you keep an eye on the evidence room? I just made sure nothing moved in the security camera monitor. That room's so still. Even time dies in there. I was just a caretaker who entered the recordings. You entered them? Videos of nothing aren't that useful. When the time will come, I erase the tape. If nothing unusual is recorded, tapes ought to be erased every 6 hours. Each time I erase a tape, it felt like I was erasing a part of my life. This guy has a flair for the dramatic, but it isn't going to do him any good. So, in actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room. Okay, they said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Hold it. But you made your rounds the day of the crime, right? Ain't you heard a word I say, partner? I told you that ain't my style. I'm afraid I don't understand. No desperado I know lets rules get in his way. No desperados I know joined the police force.
So, Officer Marshall, on the day of the crime,
Just between you and me, I didn't set foot in the evidence room that day.
there was a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker. Do you know anything about that?
Sorry, partner, I can't say I do. I haven't been in that crypt in weeks. How does this guy avoid being fired? Inside the room, protected security systems. Nah. If I remember right, I was at a street side saloon at the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. Hold it. Out of ammo, Officer Marshall? That's right, partner, or as you call it, evidence. If you plan to pin me to this crime, then you better draw. Otherwise, you're just wasting my time. My steel horse is waiting to carry me back west into the sunset.
One thing seems clear. Despite being responsible for guarding the evidence room, the witness doesn't appear to have seen anything.
Texans don't take orders from anyone. Everyone knows that. Apparently your superiors don't. Okay, I have a trump card up my sleeve, so I'd best keep my cool. Before I use it though, I'd better up the ante. What do you mean? Okay, let me go ahead and save then. Up the ante. So I haven't, If you're out of ammo, I guess we'll try the fingerprints right here. Objection. Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called in to testify like this? After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime. And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner. It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind the scene. Or to be exact, a handprint. Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crib. I pay my respects. That is, I make my rounds about once a month. It's only natural for my fingerprints to be in there. I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood. Yeah, that's true.
Witness, what's the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were at the crime scene?
The blood was wiped away. However, a luminal test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall? It seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall, about the blood-stained fingerprints.
Very well, you may begin your testimony about your fingerprints, found at the scene of the crime.
Okay. Blood-stained fingerprints. What's he got to say about that? Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the blood-stained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The blood stain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See, I had nothing to do with it. Unrelated.
The witness' explanation appears valid, although there's room for doubt.
Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner.
The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
This guy's hiding something, I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it. Okay. I think the unrelated topics kind of throw me off, so... Yeah. Unrelated? They're as different as night and day. Kind of like cereal and cereal. One's got to do with breakfast, while the other's a type of murder.
He's right. Although seemingly alike, they're totally different.
I don't see what homonyms have to do with this. Didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? How do you know that? I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports. There was blood stain at the scene, thought to be left by the murderer. That's right. It was found on Detective Gumshoe's locker. However, no fingerprints were detected on the handprint. Oh yeah, I think we tried that too.
So that would mean the murderer wearing gloves happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint.
That's the only logical conclusion. I can't let him squirm out of this one. I got to find something decisive to tie Officer Marshall to the crime. What could we put? One of them just happened to be at the same place as the bloodstained handprint. I don't get that. So then, what about the bloody handprint? wasn't mine. It's no mystery.
Please explain.
My locker is covered with my fingerprints. It just so happened. Okay. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The bloodstain and the fingerprint are unrelated. That don't make sense. That doesn't make sense. To me, at least. So let's check something. The bloodstain and the fingerprint are unrelated. What could we present to hit that claim? Died within an hour and a half. IDs are all who enter the evidence room. A half-written document. Yeah. Scene of the stabbing of the detective at the PD. There's the blood stuffs. Extremely thin rubber gloves. The bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. This is a hard one. The bloodstain and fingerprint unrelated, but it is related, isn't it? I'm gonna present this again. Objection. The witness statement is clearly faulty, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, but I can see nothing faulty. Unfortunately, I will have to penalize you, Mr. Wright.
Okay, so that wasn't it. I must be on the wrong track. Then what is it then? Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? He was. Or... What? Oh, that doesn't make sense. Why? Objection. Yeah, no, it's not this either. Okay. Maybe we gotta press on something. The chances of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1. On the contrary, one could argue just the opposite. The chances of that not happening are 1,000,000 to 1. Get one thing straight, partner. You ain't gonna get no reward from me with a mere fingerprint. You wanna know why? Why? The bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Why? Why is that statement just throwing me off? Something decisive to tie Officer Marshall to the crime. How could we tie him to the crime? At the same place as the bloodstained handprint. That can't be. Or because the videotape, I don't think. Where's the videotape? Right here. Objection. No? Okay, so that wasn't it either. He's a tough one. He's a toughie. The bloodstain and the fingerprint are unrelated. It is related. It has to be. Objection. No, it's not. Okay, we're gonna... Oh man, my stuff's going down. I'm gonna load. I'm scared. I don't want a guilty verdict. I really don't. I'll feel so bad. Bloodstain and the fingerprint are unrelated. But it is. Indicator lamp lights up when it's open. That one? Wait, if he was wearing gloves, how could he open the locker? Because it shows the fingerprint. Would it not, what am I trying to say? Not scan the fingerprint, I guess, if he's wearing gloves? So, maybe only the assigned detective's prints can unlock it. Indicator lamp lights up when it's open. Objection. Nope. That doesn't make sense then. Did I press him on this one? How do you know that? Yeah, okay. There was a bloodstain at the scene thought to be left by the murderer. That's right. It was found on gumshoes. However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint because it was the glove. Happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint. But it was on a different locker. No. Okay. The danger on the murder is wearing gloves. What if we show him the map? If that's the case, I can't think of anything else. Objection. Because he's saying that the murderer put his handprint on his handprint. Let's see. One of them just happened to place the same place as the bloodstained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. That can't be chance. Evidence locker for the plans. It has to be the plans. Because this is actually hard. He's getting us good. He is knocking us down. It's only natural. I don't think I pressed him on this. That's because you, how did you put it, pay your respects once a month? Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine.
What? What do you mean?
I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams. I see. It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker. Apparently, his fingerprint data was never removed from that locker's programming. He must have been using the fingerprint lock all this time without ever knowing it. Oh, okay. We got information. Marshall's own locker. The print had been wiped. Are you starting to get the picture, partner? The picture? This seal of blood in the desert is just food for the buzzards. There's only one reality, and that's this. Security tape. So long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise.
This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully when you're going with this cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall.
Okay. Too bad it wasn't me in that video, right, partner? I think it is. With this? Or maybe with the fingerprints. Not. Yeah. Whoopsie doodles. Okay, the handprint. Okay, let's just press them then. Because this isn't getting us anywhere. Oh, God. Hold it. What do you mean by that? You want to tie me to this crime, isn't that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have. But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots.
Blind spots?
Places you can't see. The camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without being caught on tape. We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright.
Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now.
Show evidence. I guess. Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall. Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake.
Now then, let's have another look at the video. Show us this incriminating evidence of the witness, Officer Jake Marshall.
Fast forward. Well, we can't, I don't think there's anything here. Okay. It's your boy, Blue Badger. He dropped something. My goodness. Incriminating evidence. Oh, okay, that's when they attacked him. But then what? He's dead. I went away. I just saw it. Go backwards. If you go back, nothing there. You see, on the first locker on the top. And then, unpause. Fast forward a little bit. Listen to this cheery ice cream song. We have found the evidence to pin you to the crime. I know what you just did wrong. After this attack, you hit Officer Meekins. Then you left something incriminating here. Found it. Right there, baby. Bringing our attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you'll not soon forget, Officer Marshall. The days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. Could you sum what you had to say in 8 words or less? Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video. Oh, that is actually 8 words. Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner. The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. It's the cloth, whatever that is.
That locker with the white cloth sticking out? What was the witnesses, I believe?
Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. Okay, so we go backwards. Mike Meekins is dead. And then we move onward. Yeah. Blue badger. Boom, nothing there.
Oh, the white cloth. It's gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall?
When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened the locker when the camera was turned away. Oh dear.
Order! It would seem that's the only...
Hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man. So what if my locker was open? That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. The murderer needed to hide something, so he opened the locker and stuck it in. It's not my fault he happened to choose mine. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man? He actually didn't know about the fingerprint. Oh, it's horrible. This guy just isn't playing dumb. He really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker. Oh yeah? I call your bluff. You say I opened that locker. Now prove it. Fingerprint, dude. Fingerprint sensor? Oh, he's sweating. We've talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to. What kind of crazy talk is this? Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this.
In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks.
And he didn't know about it. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less? Chewing on that jerky. I only got 1 word for you, partner. No! Got him. So, did you do it?
Order! Witness, explain yourself.
If this is a joke, it's the worst I've ever heard. I assure you this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime. Let me just chew on some jerky to think about my actions real quick.
Well, hey, please answer the question.
Is he now a bullfighter? Where did that even come from? That's alright, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here.
We can?
Have a look at these floor plans. There is no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet, Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall.
If that's so, then where was the witness?
It seems Mr. Wright has an answer. That's right, the only possible conclusion.
Well then, let's hear it. Where was Officer Marshall at the time of the crime?
If he couldn't hide and he didn't see him, then it's obvious he was the victim then. Because it has to be. Officer Marshall was standing right here.
There? But that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was.
Correct, unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. It was you dressed up like Detective Goodman. But that's preposterous! Officer Meekins witnessed a detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure. But he didn't see it. May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman? He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted.
When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his ID card, sir.
Yes, and how did Detective Goodman respond?
He simply pulled a knife on me!
Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID card, why didn't he just show it?
Yes, he would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it.
The answer is simple. he couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card.
Oh, I get it.
If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall? You've got quite an imagination, partner. We got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it. You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective. Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim.
I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition.
I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining.
Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim?
I don't know. Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that. I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert. Hey, I said dessert for some reason. This can't be happening. It's so obvious he's the one. What can I do? It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you run onto a wall with no place to go, return to the basics. The basics? For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me. Phoenix, try thinking outside the box. I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. But rather I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise. Why do you think this locker was opened in the first place?
What do you mean?
There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance that it might be discovered later as it has been. Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker.
According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then, after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason.
The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside.
So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth?
Perhaps the video is the key to all our unanswered questions. I don't have any evidence, so this video is my only shot.
Very well. Let's take yet another look at the security tape. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. Please show us why the witness had to open his locker.
Okay. Why did he open the locker? Why did he open the locker? Let's see. Okay. There he goes. It's your boy, Blue Badger. Drop a glove. What's cloth? Creep status, Mike Meekins. Okay. Got it. Stop! I see it. This is the cloth. Present the blood. He had to hide it because he was bleeding. For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room, though I don't know to what end yet. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled the knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood.
A bloody white coat.
You couldn't just walk out like that, so you hid the coat in your locker. Not bad, partner. Yay!
Now then, Officer Marshall, are you ready to tell us the truth?
Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, if you were only half as persistent than you are as today, we all wouldn't have to be here now, would we? Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it. All right. It seems the time has come. Marshall's confession. All right, so we got him. I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out and managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. Cool.
So the supposed victim was really you.
But there's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Officer Makins managed to cut his own hand. My guess he's the donor. It was way too much blood for such a small donation. Oh, we're cross-examining this. I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. Let what die? When you say it, you mean... Do you even have to ask, partner? The SL9 incident. 2 years have passed since that case was closed. It was going to completely end with the transferal that day. Not if I have anything to do with it. That incident's not over. But what you did to hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room? When a case is closed, only that case lead detective can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time, no matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine. But Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it? That day was my last chance. That's why He stole the detective's ID card and dressed like him. Planned to take out the evidence. Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman? If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transferal, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. So you did it to fool the security camera?
And the detective's ID card?
I stole that the morning of the incident. So that really was why Goodman started to filling out that lost item report. I returned his ID card. I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot. The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall. So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean the fingerprint activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker yourself. But he could because the rubber glove just happened to get stuck in the door. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out. Okay, we'll just press everything then. You pulled the knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off. Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time.
Officer Meekins certainly is a one-of-a-million type of person. Mistaking the detective for an intruder and demanding to show his ID.
I'll have to think a little more about his raise this year. When did Edgeworth get so much influence? Anyway, he threw himself at me and I ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry it had to turn out that way. With me knocking him out and everything. By the way, what happened to your knife? Oh, you mean this one? The one he's shaving his beard with all the time? I don't know what to say.
So you knocked Officer Meekins out and...
I managed to escape. I knew which areas would be caught on the camera. Okay. So you did your research beforehand. Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference, though. The security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left. However, you bloodied your coat in your struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there. What was Officer Meekins doing during that time? What else? He was sleeping like a baby.
So what you're saying is on that day?
Okay, there wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. Hold it. But the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place. What are you, blind? The victim shown on that tape was me, and I'm not dead yet, partner. So you stole the evidence from the locker? Actually, no, I didn't. Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone.
What? Mr. Edgeworth, where is that evidence?
It's still missing, Your Honor. So someone else took it. Detective Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing? Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer. Why did you do this? Stealing the detective's ID? Injuring a police officer? This is no small offense. Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. It can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary. Not that salary cuts are either a valid solution. Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with.
The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more.
I can't just forget the SL9 incident. You know why? Well, let's see. Maybe it's because, Neil Marshall. That has to do something with that. Objection. Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident. Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner. I have the SL9 incident file here. The name Marshall is mentioned in here. In a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man? Neil Marshall? Yeah, I'm sure you heard the name. 2 years ago. Ooh. He received the same lousy prosecutor award you got.
What? A prosecutor?
He must be talking about the King of Prosecutors award. Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did. That's right. He was killed. And the case fell into your hands.
But what's his relation to you?
He was my brother. Oh, no. His brother died. He was investigating the murders with Damon Gant, then Deputy Chief of Police. So that's who that other dude is. He also has a cowboy hat. They're both cowboys. The group of detectives I was part worked with him. We were just desperate to prosecute the killer. Yo, Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. That's the first time Dark left behind any evidence. It was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case finally closed, at least according to the public records.
What do you mean?
My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. And that's it? That's your reason for your insane actions? There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me.
Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime.
That was the last day the SL9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with this resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled. Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. But the things that happened by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department. Chance? It's got to be more than just that.
So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot was the real one.
Which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lorna Skye. But wait, a verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial. Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today. But there's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. It seems to me, this boy's got the draw on you, partner. All of the mysteries at the police department have been resolved, no doubt about it. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lorna Skye, and the testimony of one Miss Angel Starr is completely incontestable. If you have a response, make it a single word or less. Oh man. Incontestable, that's what it was. Ah! Dang. I rest my case. Dang it, Edgeworth.
It seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt.
Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time disproving the alleged murder at the police department. There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake, but I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty.
Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant.
Hold it. Oh, Emma, you're back.
Your Honor, wait!
Emma.
The defense has an objection. A scientific objection. Right?
What do you mean, right?
Mr. Wright, are you this girl's guardian?
Your Honor? Oh, in a sense.
Please, Your Honor, all I'm asking for is a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please.
I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute, I'll give you 3.
I was kinda in shock. I mean, finding out the SO9 incident referred to the Joe Dark killings.
Now that she mentions it, the names of both Sky Sisters were in that file.
But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day, so I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing, the other handprint.
You mean the traces of blood found on Detective Good Gumshoe's locker?
But no fingerprints were found on it, right?
No, but I figured if examined scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So I ran over there and looked at it again.
So did you find something?
No.
Huh?
Sorry, I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all.
Is that all?
Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student.
And I'm just an attorney.
But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find something wrong with them, please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you.
Me? Oh boy.
Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright. With regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain?
It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this?
Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be of more use. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be...
Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day.
Yes, Your Honor. If ever I needed to concentrate, it's now. Alright, and actually, we're going to leave that little cliffhanger right there and consider it an episode, guys. So, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like. Also, comment and subscribe to get new feed on videos and become a member of the Cuckoo Crew today. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitter so you can recommend the 50 games you want me to play or chat, your preference. Also, if you subscribe, be sure to tap that bell to get notifications on videos so you'll never miss one from me ever again. But that's going to be it from Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. In the next episode, we'll concentrate on blood marks and see if we can get Lana off the hook, even though we just confirmed her guilty, technically. But the verdict hasn't been handed down yet, so we'll see what happens. Until then, I will see you in the next court session or episode. Amateur out.